In this video, I'll be showing you step by step how to build the AI appointment setter for fitness coaches in VoiceFlow, which is going to book appointments automatically in Instagram DMs. And I'll then show you how to connect that VoiceFlow bot with ManyChat to then integrate appointment setter with Instagram itself. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright, as I said in the beginning, we'll start with building VoiceFlow template to then connect it with Instagram through ManyChat. Therefore, the first thing we'll have to do is to create this new VoiceFlow template, which I already have done. And then we'll need to capture lead reply, because we're not going to send lead message. We're receiving it. Therefore, we'll need to catch it. And the way to do it is by using capture module or block, whatever you call it, which is located right here. In it, we'll need to write last utterance to then capture the lead reply. And once we have done that, we can simply connect it. Next thing to do is to pick response AI, which is right here. We'll need to write the prompt, which in my case will be, welcome the user, just sent you this message. And here we'll need to pick up last utterance and write next thing, which is ask them if they need help, or if they have any other questions. And once this is done, we can click on prompt settings, and here we'll find system prompt, which in my case will be this one. Quick note, I am freestyling these prompts and they are not great at all. Therefore, when building an actual product, you must sit and perfect these prompts so that you'll get exact response you want. Otherwise, responses will be very bad and no one will like them. And now we'll need to connect these two blocks together. Now that the first two steps are done, here comes the tricky part, which will be intent. Here AI will be analyzing leads intent, and based on that will either guide the conversation into booking, appointment, or will guide towards the ask and answer part, which I'll get there, but for now we'll need to pick up set AI, which is located right here. Connect those two together. Right here we'll need to write other or program. And here you can choose either AI model will answer the ongoing questions and tasks, or we can use knowledge base, but in the case of this video, I'll be focusing on this one. There you can see the prompt, I'll just put this one. Again, put time and effort in these two, in all of these prompts, because it's very essential part. And next thing, just going to think system prompt will be for analyzing a message from a to identify their need help with enrolling into training program. Keep in mind that no matter how good this whole system of blocks is, if the prompt is shit, then the whole thing will be shit as well. Therefore, put effort and don't speedrun things as I do. But again, I am creating this video, therefore to save myself valuable time, I'm not putting effort, but you should. From there we must add if condition, which is right here. But again, for the purpose of this video, I have copied it and pasted it right here, and we're going to put it under this block. But there are key parts that must be done, like these two conditions. If other program is other, and if other program is program. These two are needed to, as I said, split the conversation into AI booking an appointment and into guiding conversation towards basically talking with the coach himself, which will supposedly answer potential clients' every question. Once if condition is done, I'll then proceed by taking message block and writing here a simple prompt. It will be great to hear that you want enroll into training program. Just training. I'll need to ask questions mostly your house. Is it okay with you? I'll actually rather this because it will be much easier to read in this format rather than in the old one. Anyway, from here we'll need to capture last reply. Therefore, I'll just pick this thing up and paste it right here. Now comes the qualifying part, and in the end AI will send a link to a coach's course, training program, or AI will send any link needed. For instance, booking a meeting, that kind of link, so the coach could then do his part. And for the purpose of this video, I have created a series of qualifying questions, but again, put effort in these prompts and questions. So next thing, we'll need to pick up response AI and write prompt. And as you can see, here's the prompt, and I'll actually remove this part because we don't need AI to grade potential client again, as it will look most definitely suspicious. And once it's done, we'll have to capture lead's reply, which I'll grab again from here, paste it right here. And now I can just copy the whole thing and paste it right here. The reason for that being I have many qualifying questions, and the whole format of them putting in these blocks will remain the same, therefore it will be much easier to do. Right, as you can see, it's all done. I have written the prompt, and as you can see, it's divided into context, task, qualifying question, as well as rules, which are down here. And these are very essential for prompt because by following these four, AI will ensure that it works in a designed way, which is what I want. Next, I'll just copy the whole thing and paste it next to it. And yes, you must put the capture right underneath, otherwise it won't work. And now let me adjust the task part and write the new qualifying question. Alright, I have finished writing prompt, and as you can see, in its nature it's very similar to the first one, only differences are in qualifying question as well as in task. And now that this concept of context, task, qualifying question, rules will apply to all other blocks that include the qualifying part. Therefore, from here I'll just speed the video and explain everything that I have done afterwards. Alright, I have finished writing remaining prompts. I have put remaining qualifying questions in the system blocks, and once again, main difference in all of them is the qualifying question and adjust the context as well as task. And apart from that, nothing else is different. And here are the prompts, as you can see. Again, mostly all of them are the same, but logically, each block has its own qualifying question, as well as because of that, task and context is a little bit changed in every one of them, as well as the previous ones. And yeah, as you can see, mostly all of them are the same, except for the summary part, which is much longer, as you can see. In fact, very much longer. Reason for that being is mostly due to the rules that I have added, and to be honest, you perhaps not may need all of them. I have added them only because during the test, VoiceFlow fumbled the summary part a lot, therefore I had to be more strict with it by implementing these kind of rules. But you can just put the rules that point out basically the problems that VoiceFlow does. However, the qualifying question part is different. I mean, it should have been named differently, like the recap or something, as it is here. sounds like they're aiming to summarize their goals, goal timeline, etc. You get the point. Now I have chosen to leave it here as this, mostly because I didn't want to change the whole thing by adjusting this little tiny thing to the whole prompt. But ideally you must change the name and make sure it fits. Now that that part is done, time for me to go back, copy this part, because after the whole summary there will be also kind of intent choosing, which will lead to the ask and get the answer part, where AI will basically answer questions infinitely. Also, while I haven't forgotten, in the very beginning I have made some minor adjustments, like again, formatting the whole prompt, because I think it wasn't that good at the beginning, therefore I had made changes, namely had written the role and the context to clarify some key points. It's basically in this part and this part. Right, so the end part, as I said, this will be also in the end, so that based on the whole conversation with VoiceFlow itself could then either guide the conversation towards the booking meeting or towards asking questions. And what I have done here is basically written this prompt, also context, examples, and in it contains basically information needed for the splitting, right? So again, condition 1, if confirms or declines is confirms, and if confirms or declines is declines. So again, if based on whole summary part, user, or in this case potential customer or lead, confirms that this information is correct, then AI will then guide the whole conversation towards the meeting. And if not, then it will lead to the questions, which by answering, it can also lead back to the booking meeting, which kind of creates the whole cycle of infinitely automated system. Right, and now I'll just go back here and put this text. Ideally, you shouldn't put text, but rather like an AI part, so that they could also understand what it said before. But in my case, again, so the video doesn't get too much longer than it already is, I have written this part, which will then go to the question, but I'll get there in a minute. On the other hand, with the confirms part, easier. Here I can just write simple text. Little, be honest, I be super, don't, in chat, order, you, how can I, me and coach can help you, please. Then I can just grab another text. Ask another question. Something. From there we'll need to capture last reply, so that we just copy thing and paste it right here. After which we'll go another text message. Amazing. Here's calendar. Let me know. Let's go know if found time and date. That's you. Right, so now that we have done this part, we'll need to connect this one. Now part with the loop which we're going to create right here. And actually I have forgotten to connect together. Anyway, right here we'll need to create a loop, and I have already done that. Here it is. Very simple one. So whenever AI chooses that the intent is not to enroll in the program or book a meeting, it will start asking questions. Not start asking, it will basically make potential lead go into this infinite loop of once he answers this question, how AI can help, he will be able to ask infinitely these questions. And whenever AI doesn't get it, it will tell. And again, the whole cycle of answering questions will continue. Now, there are a few things we'll need to do. First, we'll need to connect the blocks. This one will go straight to fallback, so whenever AI will capture basically the question, and if it won't understand it, it will guide back to the fallback, where it will ask, I couldn't quite understand what you were trying to say. Could you try to rephrase it, please? Right, and into the loop. Need to do it here. And we also need to connect together, as because of this part, since people usually tend to ask questions afterwards. Therefore, we'll need to guide them to this loop. I'll stop right here with the voice flow part, since it is mostly done. And the last part is quite simple, actually, it's just publishing. It'll take some time to publish, and while it's happening, I'll explain the next part, which will be the manage ad, since you can't connect voice flow directly to Instagram, you'll need like a provider, which in this case will be manage ad. And to do it, we'll need to first to get this template's API key. Why? Well, because we'll need it. Because we'll need it right here in this template, which originally doesn't come from me, but from OmniFusion AI, which I have modified specifically for my template. But the key features here are the same. There are 4 blocks where you need to put in basically this voice flow API, which will be right here. I have already done that, as you can see, and the key part here is these 2 blocks. Make sure that says production, not development or nothing at all, because you need production so for this whole system to work. Anyway, you'll need to put API key here. As you can see, the whole interface is the same. Just need to put API keys in these blocks. And there is also the fixed one, this one, but it's different. Well, why? Because it's needed. You'll need to go to app script. There you'll need to paste this, code. After that, you'll need to press deployment, new deployment, after which choose web app and then deploy. After which you'll get a link which you'll need to put between, I believe, somewhere right there. Or you can just copy the whole thing and then in the end you can put question mark user message equals /text input. It will also work. And then press save, update, and lastly you'll need to choose trigger. Now you can choose any one of them. All of them will work, but for this case you'll need to use a default reply, which you'll need to get from the settings bar by going to settings, then clicking Instagram, and here you'll see default reply, which for my case set for other template. Therefore I'm not going to choose it, but once it's chosen you can go back here and as a trigger will be shown a default reply message, so that whenever someone messages you or coach, in this case, this whole template will start working. Also, by the way, post template for manage chat, this whole thing, as well as the code, I'll put in down description below. Even I believe voice flow template, which is essential. Yeah, now it's time to test this whole thing. Now that everything is done, we'll need to test the bot. As you can see, I'm on Instagram. Let's get the testing started. Right, hi, message. And here it is. Hey there, I'm John, the appointment setter and virtual assistant for the coach. How can I assist you today? Are you interested in enrolling in the training program, or do you have any other questions in mind? Oh, right, I guess I want to enroll. I have been or way to great to hear that you want to enroll into a training program. Now just specifically for you, I'll need to ask you questions. Very good, he has answered also as I wanted. Sure. And it has not graded, which is very, very good. Because in other tests, when I had gotten to this point, it's graded me, which is not good. I'd say I want 2 kilograms and 325. Okay. That's great to hear that you're committed. How long have you been working out for? Or are you just starting out? I have been over now and fresh. However, I am well, I didn't finish the message, but let's say if you got it. Great to hear about your progress over the past year. How much time can you dedicate to training each week? Well, I don't like this dash because it clearly shows that it's AI, but anyway, it did got my idea, even though I didn't finish my message. It seems perhaps I don't have much. If I got it, it has. Of course, we can adjust to 2 days a week. Also, do you have any injuries or health conditions that I should know about before we start planning your training? I don't have any. That's great to hear that you don't have any injuries. When do you want to start seeing results? So I said my goal end of 2025. That's a realistic timeline to aim for. Are you ready to invest in a personalized training program? Yes, I am. And it should provide a summary. Like aiming to lose 15 kilos by the end of 2025 with over a year of training experience, and can commit to 2 days a week. Yes, it was meant to say training, but anyway. Those. And here it should have been a link, but I didn't put it because they don't have any link of coach. Anyway, that sums up this video. I guess there should have been some things different, such as link or taking into account other information that I have provided, but overall it's very good, and I'll see you in the next one.